And my computer froze. Sorry about that, folks. Trying to do two things at once, and all of a sudden my computer froze. So that's the reason for the dead air. Wonderful, wonderful. I love dead air. Hey, everybody. My name is Zach Clayton, Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the pACT channels. One of my favorite days of the year because football's over. Hockey training camp open today. No more NFL. I don't care about NFL anymore because hockey training camp opened today. So the world is right. The world is bright. Let's go hockey. And by the way, if you're a Rangers fan, look at the playoffs. Anyway, I guess enough of that. But now that I say all that, I have a very special announcement to make. Every year, we team with our good friends at Key Largo Lounge, and we have a chili cook-off and book drive. Just recently, starting last year, we added a Texas Hold'em poker tournament. Well, we're going to keep that. We're doing a little something different. It's going to the first draw is going to be at 4:00. The chilies start arriving at 1:30 for a 2:00 kickoff in between Denver and Houston. Get it? Texas Hold'em, Houston. Okay. So, something a little funny, I guess. But we're going to be raising money to put books into the pediatric wards of all the Northern Colorado hospitals. We've been doing this now. This is our 6th year of the chili cook-off. But we've been doing it now for ever since I was injured, which was over 9 years ago. So, but we're excited. We're going to announce It is December 3rd. Once again, Denver versus Houston. Finally get to announce this today. I talked to my great friend Soterios, original partner of the Community Pay It Forward program, and he said, you know what, let's do it on December 3rd. And I'm like, perfect, we got it. Let's go. Right after, a couple weeks after Thanksgiving and a couple weeks before Christmas, makes it perfect. Gives you a little bit of time to come out, hang out with some friends, play a couple hands of poker, and raise some money for some kids. What we're asking you to do with these books, and we're going to have some books there like Baxter the Bat Dog. What we'd like you to do is purchase 2 of these books, one for your kid. And then do us a favor. Sign the inside of the book. And this one, as you can see, is not yet signed. But put your family name inside here, from this, the Goddess of the Grape family, from the Clayton family, whatever it is. And then write 2 right here. And then let the nurses in the hospital put a child's name there. Now you have one of these for your kids and one of them for a child in the hospital that's going through something that, let's be honest, hospitals are no fun for us as adults. They really suck as kids. Okay. So that's an idea that you can steal from me. We would love you to steal it from us. As a matter of fact, if you take this idea, if you have a chili cook-off, if you have a book drive or something like that, and you would like us to talk about it, come and join us. We'll gladly give you all the credit for doing it. We'll give you the pub for whatever you need. We want to get these books, all kids' books, into pediatric wards all over the country. Give these kids something that they can really, really care, really, really think about. And this kind of gives them that thought that, wow, I don't even know these people, but they care about us. So that's the first item. Second item, I'm working right now on 2024 Families, Cubs, and Causes. We are bringing it back, finally. What it is you in the small business world, we're giving you a chance to do what we all wish we could do, and that's introduce somebody in the small nonprofit world. If you have a small nonprofit that you're dealing with, that you're working with, sponsor them. Buy a booth. Buy yourself a booth and then buy them a booth. When you do that, you guys can both be there. The only requirements is that if you're there, when you make a sale, we ask for 5% and a receipt to go to your customer. That customer, they're going to drop that receipt in a bucket on someone's booth. And then they're going to get that 5% of that sale. That is the Community Pay It Forward way. And that's what we're trying to do. This is one way where we can support so many causes and really bring to light some of the great things that are going on around Colorado. This, unfortunately, is Colorado-based. So as much as I would love for you all to just, December in Colorado is beautiful. December in Greeley is wonderful. And we're only about 2 hours away from ski slopes. So you know what? Come on and join us. I don't care where you're at. Come on and join us. We'd love to have you. $20 to enter the chili cook-off, $20 for hand and poker. There are winning prizes for both chili and poker. So the winners get a prize. But come and join us. Family, Cubs, and Causes. Tommy Bopp, our great friend Tommy Bopp, came and joined us all the way from Auburn the year that we did it. And now that was about 2.5 years ago. So, he flew in and he joined us all the way from Auburn. So I know you can do it. Stephanie might not be able to because, she's busy. She is so busy. New kid, new move, new. Crazy. Oh, and then she's working with some idiot that makes her busy all the time. But so speaking of, this is the point in time when I am so thrilled to bring on my dearest friends in the world, one of the people who helps make community pay it forward what it is, goddess of the grape, Stephanie Samos. Hey, sweetie, how are you?
That was so nice, Zach. Thank you. I'm great. I'm happy to be here. And those announcements were fantastic. And you know, my heart is going to be there for these events. But if there's any way I could contribute some books or something, I'm definitely going to do that. That's amazing. I love the initiative. The chili sounds delicious. I wish I could be there to come help eat all of it.
Yeah.
But wow, great events to raise some money for really great causes. So love that so much.
Well, I know last year I ended up the night before the chili cook-off, I cooked a green chili, but I also made cinnamon rolls, which were a huge hit because, I'm one of those guys. I've got to have cinnamon rolls with my chili. You cannot have chili without cinnamon rolls.
You pair them together? Wait a second.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of like, people, you dip their fries in a Frosty or something.
Okay.
That to me is disgusting. I'm sorry. That's just.
Well, I don't do it, but I know what you're talking about. Okay. All right.
Yeah. But the sweetness of the chili or the sweetness of the cinnamon rolls in the chili. Oh, it's fantastic. Better than crackers. Yeah, it is. It's one of my favorite things. I've been that way since I was a kid.
We'll have to get Duane to weigh in on that from his, culinary perspective.
Yeah, actually, and he's going to be. Yeah, I'm excited about this because he told me about the recipe he's going to be talking to us about, and I was like, of course, me being the fat guy I am, I was kind of like going, yeah, that sounds pretty damn good.
He is a man of many hats. He does a lot for the community here. I'm glad that we have him back to kind of share more about what they do. And hey, a little bit of his background and culinary experience to go along with the wine pairings too. So I think that this is going to be great.
Absolutely. Well, why don't you go on ahead and tell us a little bit about what you got going on? And then why don't you just bring on Duane when you're ready?
Yeah. So I hope you're not watching the show for the first time. I know we're streaming in a few different places right now, but if this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Stephanie Samos. I am a cause entrepreneur with ONEHOPE Wine. Zach and I do this monthly show, and I love it so much because I feel like we're such a great team. We have this platform to be able to bring on smaller nonprofit organizations that don't have that exposure, right? And get them in front of you to share more about what they're doing. So to me, that is the most important thing that we do with this show twice a month is get them in front of more people so that, more people are aware of what they do. Zach says it best all the time. Like the worst thing is to hear, like, I wish I heard about you sooner. Right. So we're really trying to work on getting their word out, spreading their message, seeing how you can help them, whether it be through the ONEHOPE Wine or helping them directly with, funding they need, or maybe supplies. And, take that knowledge and kind of go back to your community and help in a different way, maybe local to you. So I love this. I'm happy to dive in and welcome Duane. He's local here to me in Northeast Pennsylvania. Huge member in the community, helps not only with local social media pages, but with East Penn Search and Rescue, our local specialty rescue team. And, him and I have known each other for several years now. And I'm glad to have you on, Duane. And I'm glad to have you share more about everything you guys do.
Thanks for having me back, guys. So Zach, I'm going to weigh in on two things here. Number one, thank God you're wearing a Devils hat. I am not a Rangers fan. Second,
always a Devils fan. I was expecting maybe a flyer from you.
Listen. Do you want to take a guess at who my NFL team is?
I'm going to say the Giants.
No. Even though I grew up 15 minutes from Giant Stadium, no.
All right. I'm lost.
Packers.
Okay.
Second,
I think the Packers are kind of one of those teams that people either I've never heard anybody, but then again, I've never been to Detroit, just saying this, but I've never heard anybody say, God, I hate the Packers. Packers are kind of one of those teams that's like, okay.
And the second thing I had to weigh in is, listen, if you could raise airfare for me, I'll be out there to play in that Texas Hold'em tournament because I have played in 2 World Series of Poker events. So I got the whole Texas joke. I get it.
Yeah. Well, I hate to tell you this, bud, but you just kind of ruined it. You know, you should have kept that quiet. We could have maybe raised the money, but now everybody's going to be like, no, if you're bringing
It's
him
okay.
out, we're out.
Listen. I can't get out there in December. I have a lot going on, but they can contribute to the cause on my behalf.
That sounds great. That really does.
You know what? In fact, I will buy a book. I'll get in touch with you. I'll buy a book on behalf of East Penn Search and Rescue.
That sounds
and
great.
You can do whatever you'd like to do with it. After the show, I'll get the information from you. We will make it happen.
That sounds fantastic. I appreciate it. Well, Duane, we've got you back for our mid-month show. And we were talking before the show. We're going to kind of do like a little bit of thing where we went from swimming safety to where now, we're getting into the cooler months. Look, there's nothing more relaxing than walking, going for a hike. The trees are turning. I know that the trees up in your area are turning. Here in Colorado, they're turning beautiful. And then comes that snow word. And there's a lot of snow safety and there's a lot of the rules for safety are quite a bit different with them being the same, aren't they? As long as you use your head, you should be safe.
You would think. I like your effort there, man. I like your effort. So here's the thing. They are similar, but they are different. They're similar in the fact that, all right, there goes the squirrel up the side of my house. Sorry about that, guys. They got into our kitchen when we were on vacation last year.
Oh.
So it's ongoing. Anyway, when it comes to winter, you're still dealing with summer. Unfortunately, only instead of rain and water, you're dealing with ice. You're dealing with cold temperatures. And with that comes fall foliage. I don't know. I know you're on the West Coast, Zach, if I remember. Colorado, am I wrong?
Colorado.
Fall foliage here is beautiful. We draw hundreds of thousands of people every year for fall foliage, just like we do during the summer. Problem is that going out and looking at the fall foliage is a lot different than jumping off a waterfall, which I did Labor Day weekend. But on a
you got pictures of that on your Facebook, don't you?
Yeah. How'd you like that, man?
Yeah. That was pretty intense. I know a fat guy like
that was a great time.
I'd do that.
Yeah, that was 10 miles. That hike. That was beautiful. Some of the tallest waterfalls in Pennsylvania. But anyway, when you go out to see the fall foliage, even if you go to see the waterfalls, for example, everything is slippery. You need to have your safety. Because if you slip and fall, you need to make sure. My advice going into fall, listen, pay that $10 a month to track your family on your cell phone plan. Because if something happens, you can't reach your loved one, here's a button. It'll make it a lot easier than police, fire, anybody else trying to find out where your cell phone is. It's a lot more. Police, fire can only pinpoint within so far, where, as we know, most people should know, if your kids have a cell phone or loved one has a cell phone, you could find cell phones and put them within feet. And that makes a big difference. And again, with summer, not so much. Winter, you have hypothermia. So you need to make sure that you dress for it. If you're going, as you said, that S word, I'm not going to say it. I'm not doing it. Make sure you have the proper shoes on. Buy the snow cleats for your shoes. Spend the $25. You can't put a price tag on health. So why go and wear a pair of sneakers or a pair of hiking boots to walk on packed snow or walk on wet leaves? These all add to injuries, and it makes it no less dangerous than going for a swim without wearing a life jacket. And the last thing I want to do is take time around the holidays to go and help somebody find a loved one. The worst feeling in the world. Trust me,
Duane,
I've been there.
Duane, let me ask you a question. Give me some, just for people who have never experienced, thank God, hypothermia. What are some of the things that people need to watch out for with hypothermia?
First, your fingertips start going numb. Your face starts going cold. But what happens is your organs slowly start shutting down from your feet down. Your feet is the coldest part of your body. But your body naturally protects your brain. And then your heart. So hypothermia, you could lose every limb on your body and still live. So if your core body temperature drops, I think it's been a bit. I think it's below 85. Hypothermia sets in, and your body starts going in and protecting its vital organs, which are the heart and the brain. Everything after that is fair game to the cold. So it's very crucial. And I like to walk, I like to talk, I like to enjoy life, as I'm sure everybody else does, and their family around them.
If somebody starts experiencing these, some of these, they start feeling the numbness in their fingers, they start feeling that and they are lost. The worst thing for them to do would be just stop, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Moving. Keeping moving would probably be safe, or trying to find a way to cover it up. Or
you're right. But what you want to do in this case, when it come up, let me ask you this, Zach. What do you think the proper movements are? If you're experiencing these symptoms, let's say it's 22 degrees outside, it's starting to snow, you're not sure where you are because you're disoriented. When you say keep moving, what would be your definition? What would be your first action?
You had mentioned the other day, you should carry around, there's a ribbon, and probably trying to stay in the same area,
yep,
but moving maybe in a circular motion or something, just trying to
calisthenics, jumping jacks, run in place. Okay. Think cardio. Though you might get disoriented because of it, but stay in place. Keep running, work in place, walk in circles, do jumping jacks, anything to keep your body warm, but it's only going to go so far. Things like rubbing your hand, they only go so far. When you rub your hands, the outsides of your hand, you really can't rub them so well. So I would even recommend, if you don't have winter gloves, have hand warmers with you.
Yeah.
Have feet warmers with you. Double layer. Wear 2 pairs of socks. Nobody cares what you look like when you go out for a hike to enjoy the foliage. What people care about is you're safe.
You can always remove clothing. You can't make it appear out of nowhere. So, one of the things that you said was something that always stuck with me. When I ride, I'll have like heated gloves because I have poor circulation in my hands.
Right.
But it always amused me that the heating was in the palms. The thing that's getting beat up are the outside of your hands, because they're on the outside of the, that's what the wind is hitting is the handlebars in your hands. So you still freeze there. The
leather gloves
are always nice and warm.
Leather driving gloves. Leather is actually really good for the elements.
Yeah, leather blocks the wind and
the
cold really well.
So leather driving gloves, I'll take care of that. Just like your leather jacket will.
Yeah.
It's maybe in the winter, I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people around our area, they only wear helmets that protect the top of their head. Might want to consider wearing a full helmet. Nobody cares about what you look like. What emergency services care about is you're safe. But remember, when it comes to something like this, unlike the summer where there's divers and boats and that, and it's warm, you're talking putting police, fire, search and rescue. You're talking maybe putting, for a senior citizen, I'd say maybe 100 people's lives at risk as well as yourself. Just be smart about it.
Yeah, I know that there was one time, and this is showing that polar bear, how I earned that polar bear name. It was,
we were all there, man.
Yeah, it was 3 o'clock in the morning.
New Year's Eve.
It was 10 below zero here. I jumped on my bike and I rode to work. And I was wearing a full face lid. Okay. When I got there to work, the condensation of my breath had frozen to the face guard. It also froze my beard in there. And so when I went to go lift that up, it was like I got waxed. I just pulled out this whole section of hair right here. That helmet was not very good after that.
Wait, you have a beard? I can't see.
Yeah, well, it's not so much. I've also got to wear a mask for something right now. I got to wear my CPAP thing, so I got to keep it trimmed up now, so I can't look all funky.
TMI, my friend. I was just trying to make a joke.
Oh yeah. Well, plus it's all gray and it kind of disappears on me. But Stephanie, what do you got?
I mean, besides this being a really great conversation, I can relate. And our location here, I mean, you're in the mountains too, Zach. So I feel like it gets real cold by you. It gets really cold up here. You know, it starts to get close to zero. It's like your brain starts going, start dripping the water in the sink. Make sure your pipes don't freeze. You know, I do a lot of stuff at the barn. I've been in the winter, and the winter time it's different. You got to dress appropriately. And it's funny you said leather gloves, because, you know, the work gloves that I'd use to muck stalls and stuff are just that. They keep you nice and warm. And I have to say, in the coldest of winters here, as long as you're moving your body, you're warm in there, you know? So good point on just making sure the layers are.
But also with staying warm, you have to be careful, because with being too warm also comes sweat, and that could also be a little bit dangerous too.
Right. You know, so in what ways you want to dive into that a little bit more in case it is stuck outside?
Boy, did I just open Pandora's box here? Okay, I will simplify this. The whole body is a core. And your core is basically your central nervous system, which your central nervous system includes your brain, which includes your heart, which includes your spine, which carries all them nerves down. So when you hit hypothermia or hypothermia, when it gets too hot. So let me clarify for the people. Hypothermia is when your body temperature cools and you get really cold, and your body starts going numb. Hyperthermia is when your core temperature rises too much. So there is actually two types. So that's why it's crucial to protect that whole core of your body.
Oh, that makes sense. Thank you.
Which one do people, is it hypothermia that people usually fall victim to?
All right. I feel like you're tripping me up, so I got you. Mostly it's hypo in the cold, because people aren't prepared. Hyper, okay, you get hot, you go for a swim, you take a cold shower, you drink cold water, which, by the way, it's better to drink room temperature water when you're hot than it is cold water, just for the record. Because it's more common to where your core body temperature needs to be, because I don't want to say it's proven science, but it's kind of leaning that way after years and years of research, that most people tend to keep their rooms between 75 and 85 degrees. So room temperature water to cool you down when you're getting hot tends to be better than cold water for you. But cold water doesn't replace your electrolytes. That would be Gatorade or a good juice for you. So it's but cold weather hypothermia is definitely more suffered during the winter because people get out there, they snow blow, they ride their motorcycles, etc., and don't think about the ramifications. They think, I'll be okay. I'll just ride my bike, for not picking on you, Zach. I'll just ride my bike down to the store. It's only 10 minutes. I'll be okay. And then next thing you know, they get cold, they get disoriented, and they pay the price without realizing it.
Yeah, well, like I said, it was kind of funny. Wherever I went, the thing I always heard the most is I would go and I would like ride to Walmart or something, and it's 20 degrees, and I'm really comfortable. I really am comfortable and see where I'm at. Our 40 degrees is still short and t-shirt weather, and that scares me sometimes because it can go from that to, oh my God, it is cold as hell. And you're out there not prepared. And so I think that we've seen more people get hurt because of that simple fact. When I was in around Chicago at one point in time, I was driving truck at that point in time, and I jumped out of the truck because it said 40 degrees. And I'm like, okay, great, 40 degrees. I was in my flip-flops, my shirt, and my shorts. I walked around my truck. I got back in my truck, went back to the sleeper, got changed, fueled up my truck, went in, and I told them that their 40 degrees is broken because that was a lot colder than any 40 degrees I have ever felt in my life. So, we really don't start to get very cold until it hits about 32 degrees here. When it starts hitting freezing, that's when
I'm in a sweatshirt. It's 50 here.
Yeah, see, we would we would die of and it's funny I say that, but I've got my hoodie back behind me because I was a little chilly. I think yesterday I had something going on, but
and here's the thing: if there's more than one person, say 2 or 3, yes, it is appropriate to hug each other and huddle, because body heat will transfer.
That's a good point. Since we're kind of talking about the temperature dropping and all of that, and we're on that topic, it made me think of how quickly the weather can change here where we live and how fast we've seen. I mean, I feel like I always say we see all 4 seasons in one day sometimes.
Yeah.
So
you
be caught off guard, and then all of a sudden it's snowing and you had
bite your tongue.
Oh, I'm not wishing that to happen, but my question coming from that would be, Duane, I'm sure you guys have experienced people being stranded in their vehicles with the switch of weather like that, or didn't heed to warnings with incoming weather and things like that. Would you be able to advise maybe what people should have in their cars for certain kinds of emergencies, so that maybe they have the time to hang tight where emergency personnel might not be readily available?
Yes. And Steph, I'll resort back to the episode that happened a couple years ago back on 196 by us, where all them people got stranded. First of all, I don't care what mainstream media says. Heed the warnings. I get it. We could all look outside and say, all right, it's cloudy, 50-50 chance of rain. But here's the thing. If we were that good, we would have their jobs.
Right. And just for those watching that might not be local to us,
right,
what happened was that road that Duane is speaking of turned into a parking lot. Complete, like, cars bumper to bumper.
173 cars with people stranded.
Yeah.
Something like that, right, Steph? They were up and down, not to interrupt, but something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing something about that. Yeah.
And, there's really a few things they can do. Number one, make sure your cell phone is charged. Keep your gas tank at least between half and 3/4. And when I say half and 3/4, I don't mean it's at half, I'm okay. Literally, you're going to spend the gas money, whether it's at a quarter tank, half a tank, full tank. Keep it full, because that quarter tank idling will give you another 3 to 3.5 hours of heat in your car. So keep a couple of blankets, keep a first aid kit. You never know when somebody around you or you might hit something, God forbid, and need it. People are stranded around you. You might not have all that help that you think you do. A lot of people are intimidated by helping somebody who had a car accident. You know, keep a blanket, keep a change of clothes. And you know what? A lot of people laugh at it. Keep a MRE, a meal ready to eat. People laugh and go, oh, I'll never eat it. But guess what? I bet you if your life depended on it,
You
would.
damn well will.
Right. So keep a flashlight, keep your gas tank up there so you have heat, keep a change of clothes, keep an MRE, and keep some fluids in there along with a first aid kit. That right there should be good to keep you 12 to 14 hours until help can get to you. And don't forget, dial 911. That's what your 911 operators are there for. I hear a lot of people say, oh, I didn't want to call 911 because they're so busy. Yes, they're busy protecting you. That is their job. Just because police can't get to you doesn't mean fire, search and rescue, or somebody else nearby cannot. Somebody by you, Steph, I'm just saying, or even by you, Zach, you know, you could live maybe, let's say, a couple 100 yards from a road. You might be able to help them. Don't doubt yourself.
What about something like flares? Are, you know, because of everything being as dry as it is right now, are flares a good idea?
When it's dry, absolutely not. Now, if we're talking winter, there's snow, there's people stranded, sure, flares aren't going to hurt, but they're only going to go so far. But I will tell you what flares are a good source of: heat if you're desperate. But don't rely on it.
Right.
Don't.
Go on ahead, please.
No, I'm done.
You know, and folks, this is one of the things that I always tell you. All right, look, it's not only you suffering out there. Always make sure that you carry an extra hoodie or something in your car. If you see somebody else who's out there battling this stuff, hand it off to them. Okay, because this is serious. I mean, he's telling you right here, we're not indestructible. You know, none of us are indestructible. Cold kills. Let's make sure that we're also watching out for other people. I mean, if you've got a hoodie that doesn't fit you anymore, throw it in your car. Make sure you've got it there for someone else who can use that. So
there's two sayings to live life by. Number one, if you fail to prepare to fail. Number two, history is guaranteed, but the future is not.
Yep. I love that. What are some of the equipment that you guys use mostly in the winter and fall time? What are some of the things that you guys use? We were just talking about your drones, and I know that's one of the things. You know, how expensive is it to maintain a drone?
It's not that expensive, but in the winter, they're almost useless because they're only good for down to so many degrees. They're not good in any precipitation, rain, snow, sleet, any of that. So, and you know, the difference, let me back up for a second, if I may.
Yeah.
In the summer, here's a big difference, and I'll put it in perspective. In the summer, you could have helicopters, drones, and anything that law enforcement, search and rescue teams have to offer for air support. In the winter, that's all gone. Helicopters won't fly if it's raining too hard, if it's too cold, if it's snowing, it's sleeting. Drones, useless. To maintain my drone, not much at all. Getting into it's another story, but maintaining it's not bad. But, you lose all of that. Where in the summer, if it's humid out or it's not raining or light rain, you might be able to get help out there. But that's, you lose that support when the winter comes, which is a whole, that's for lack of a better word, that's a whole nother podcast or vlog or whatever word you want to use.
Yeah. So what are some of the other things that you guys use?
Well, right now we just packed our inflatable boat away. Now we'll gear up for ice rescue. Now we'll make sure our chainsaws are working so we can cut holes in the ice if we have to. And remind me, I'll tell you a really funny story when I'm done. We'll make sure that everybody has their ice cleats. Everybody is geared up for the winter to battle the elements. But unlike summer where we're required to have survival gear for 24 hours in the field, in the winter, it's only 12 because you could only do so much in the winter. You can't really go knee deep in snow for so far. So it's a whole game changer. It really is. Like, I just cannot express enough. If you don't have the proper gear, just don't do it. Because search and rescue teams, and I'm sure if you look into it, Zach, out by you, I'm sure it's another monster where you're at, because I'm sure you got a lot more snow, you got a lot higher mountains, but take what your search and rescue teams might do and just chop that in half. And that's what we would go through here. I mean, you have no helicopters. It's at some point you just have to say, you know what? It's just not safe anymore. We can't put 40 people's lives at risk. I'm sorry. And that's the last thing we want to do.
Yeah, we you guys have like a lot of ice fishermen. I know that's one of the things that's just huge around here, and they do a lot of draining, in which we're in the middle of it right now. They're starting to drain all the lakes, and they're trying to get it to where it's a little bit safer, but it's never going to be completely safe. All right. I mean, you're still dealing with water, and if you fall through, you fall through. So do you guys deal with that as well? Because I did hear you say cut the ice.
Well, here's a funny story. Let me just get this out of the way. I took my ice rescue class, I think it was 1997, and I was caught off guard, and I got pulled under the ice by the instructor. The lesson I learned is when you're on ice, you better know what you're doing. Be prepared. Have a safety line. Let me ask you this, Steph. If you were going out ice fishing, would you rather pay $150 to have a rope that you're safe and you can't fall under? Or would you rather say, I got this, and just swag along and just go and do your thing?
First of all, water makes me nervous, especially with my kids.
Come on, hypothetically?
In the summertime. So you wouldn't catch me on a lake ice fishing or any of that.
Right.
However, heck yeah, I would secure a rope and make sure its line is all the way out to where I'm at. I'd probably tie it to me too.
to get to somebody. You're a good sport, Steph. That's why I like you. That's why I did this podcast. I'm kidding. To answer your question, Zach, it'll take half of the time for you to die in ice water than it will in summer. Because if you go under, not only do we have to track you with your body, but we also have to cut the ice to get to you. So your chances of survival are less. So if you're going ice fishing, don't put up one of them. I know I just watched, what was it the other day? It was one of those shows where they were going mining for gold under ice. And they had this big canopy with this big butane heater. What do you think that butane heater is doing? It's melting the ice. Don't take shortcuts. If you're not ready to brave the elements, you're not prepared. Please don't do it.
I see I see a lot of these ice fishermen. I for some reason I've gotten into watching all these fishing videos and stuff like that, and I see these ice fishermen. They're in these nice little shanties, and yeah, they've got their little heaters and stuff there. But then again, they've also got air conditioners in a tent, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, not
Really?
only that, they got a whole TV crew around them.
Yeah.
So those shows, yeah, I get you. They're really cool. They're a lot of fun. I watch them too. But at the end of the day, you don't have a whole TV crew there to protect you. You don't have EMTs. You don't have rescue technicians. You know, how many times do you see the same shot? You know, how often do they move the tent? How often do they move the heater? Those shows do not show you the risk. And on that note, don't do it as seen on TV.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't do it. Just don't. It's not good.
Well, I think it is now time that we're going to shift this to the Goddess of the Grape, and she's going to be sharing a couple recipes with us. And then, Duane, you've got a recipe. Why don't you go on ahead and get us started with your recipe?
No, let the grapeness go first.
Yeah, I like that one, the grapeness.
Oh my gosh, you guys crack me up. Too funny. All right, so just a quick little background on ONEHOPE if you're not familiar. We are a cause-centered winery out of Napa Valley. So what that actually means is every bottle of wine that we sell gives back to make an impact. It actually makes an impact twice, once to the ONEHOPE Foundation. And of course, in this case, the second donation is to East Penn Search and Rescue. So we can support these guys that are going out there, you know, doing these rescue missions and putting their own lives at risk, you know, for people who are in danger. And like Duane said the last time, his wife is nervous every time he goes out. Every time he gets a call like that, you know, his family's waiting for him to come back home. So keep that in mind as you're making these choices. Just gonna, you know, throw that out there. If you are not on our community Pay It Forward ONEHOPE fundraiser page on Facebook, please join us there. We share some fun things on that page. Perfect. Zach's going to put the link up for you, but my link tree is also right underneath my name, and there's a link to that fun group there as well. That might be a really easy way to get to it. But what you see on the screen right now is the QR code directly to the fundraiser for East Penn Search and Rescue. You can take your phone out, turn on your camera, hold it up to that QR code. It will take you directly to the website where every single purchase is going to support East Penn Search and Rescue. If you'd like to type it into your browser, it is that link at the bottom that says onehopewine.com/event/150229. You can type that right in. That will take you directly there as well. I know fall is coming, all the fun fall festivities. So if you have to send a gift, this is a great time to give back at the same time. Or who knows, maybe you need a refill on your wine rack. But we are completely cause-centered. We've donated over $9.7 million to date to over 42,000 different nonprofit organizations. So I just really love this platform to be able to use an everyday item like wine that people drink, share, cook with, all the things, gift, and be able to make an impact with it too. So not sure how it is by you or where you are living in the country, but I know here in Northeast Pennsylvania, fall has definitely made its appearance. It's been down to 40 degrees a few different nights now. It's definitely getting chilly up here. The kids are back to school. Halloween festivities are being discussed. So let's be honest. We need a restock for all the upcoming fall, winter events. So you have a bottle and are prepared, you know, maybe with a beverage to bring with you to that next fun gathering, right? So with that being said, I am going to highlight 3 fun fall-inspired recipes that will not only satisfy all of the events coming up, but it's going to also donate to East Penn at the same time. Pouring with purpose, right? Thank you. Zach is queuing up the fun pictures here. And Duane, cut me off and chime in at any point. And if you don't, I'm going to put it on you when I'm done with this. But
I'll take my chances.
With your recipe, because I know Duane has a culinary background and he was thinking up some really delicious things that are for the season as well for the kitchen that might pair well with with these recipes. So first up is a white winter sangria, the perfect cocktail recipe for the upcoming holidays. And you'll probably want to double this recipe. So take your notebook out because this one doesn't show the recipe on the screen, but I'll go through it for you. This one calls for 1 cup of water. Personally, I wouldn't put water into this. I'd probably do a seltzer or a bubbly. Just putting that out there.
I was going to say, who wants to ruin wine with water?
Right. I'd probably top it with a little bit of seltzer at the end right before I'm going to sip. But anyway, here we go. 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1 bunch of fresh mint, 750 milliliters, which is a whole bottle of ONEHOPE's Sauvignon Blanc. That would be our Vintner Collection Sauvignon Blanc, the one with the white label. 1/2 cup of simple syrup, mint. You can add more or less depending on the sweetness of the grapefruits that you get, which I'm going to get to next. But this one does call for grapefruits as well. 2 pears sliced, 2 blood oranges sliced, 1 grapefruit sliced, and about 1/2 cup of pomegranate. So white winter sangria, again, I would do seltzer. Personally, I'm just going by what the recipe says here. So sharing that. I like to try things and then tweak it up. So, if you give one of these recipes a try and you're like, I'd love a little bit more of this, a little bit less of that. Like, it's fun to play with those recipes and definitely share them on that ONEHOPE community, the community Pay It Forward ONEHOPE fundraiser page on Facebook, because we'd love to know what you're sipping and enjoying. Share about it. Let us know what you're making so that others can try it too.
Absolutely.
All right. I personally, I am such a pumpkin lover this season. I will admit it. Pumpkin spice everything, all of the coffees, the donuts. I'm all over that stuff. So when I saw this, I said I have to share this. This one is pretty simple. It calls for 4 ounces of ONEHOPE Chardonnay, 1 ounce of pumpkin spice liqueur, seltzer for topping for this one. So we're on point with that, and a cinnamon stick for garnish. So really, really simple and quick to throw this one together. And I know my kids are already talking about Halloween plans. So probably the discussion, if you have young children, and it's always nice to have some adult drinks on hand too.
Do you sell the spider glasses?
No, that's not included. Sorry. But I'm glad you like that. And then last but definitely not least, and I've made a mulled wine in different ways in the past in my crock pot. I absolutely love the way that it makes my house smell. And it's delicious and warm and comforting, as the weather gets colder. I personally love it. But this one in particular is 1 bottle of ONEHOPE's Vintner Collection Red Blend. That one is delicious. If you don't know, that bottle of wine is what turned me to a red wine drinker. It's a 96-point rated wine. It's delicious on its own or in a mulled wine recipe. Also, 1 orange sliced into rounds. Peeling is suggested with this one so that it's, a little bit on the sweeter side. 8 whole cloves, 2 cinnamon sticks, 2 star. I call this anise, and Duane, correct me if I'm wrong, but star anise, and I have them here and I use them, but that's
You're correct on that.
Yeah, perfect.
Yep,
okay, awesome. Because I never know if I'm saying that right. And 2 to 4 tablespoons of sugar, honey, or maple syrup to taste. So love that on like a low warm setting in the crock pot, and the spices and the flavors all kind of come together, and it's nice and warm in your cup. And it looks beautiful too when you put it into a glass.
Steph, can I chime in on this one for a second?
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, I'd like to add that if you don't peel the orange, but add some rind into it off of like a cheese grater, it'll take away a little bit of that sweetness, but it'll also give you a little bit more of that orange flavor. The orange zest.
I love that. No, great suggestion. I've also made the mulled wine recipes even with apples in it, you know, so you can mix it up. This is just kind of a base starting point. And if you love more of one thing, less of another, you know, play with the recipes and share with us what you're enjoying. I know I'd love to hear. I always love to kind of do something a little bit differently every time and see what I like more. So, but that's enough on that. And I know that Duane had something really fun with the upcoming holidays that he mentioned that he'd love to cook up, and it sounded delicious. So I wanted to kind of turn it back over to you, Duane, to talk about what you suggest for all these fun upcoming gatherings.
I will, but I forgot one thing, Steph.
Yeah, what's up?
Congratulations to Roger Tobias. He's Penn's chief on becoming a grandpa for the second time.
Congratulations, Roger.
Tobias, his son, on a first-time uncle, actually.
Wonderful.
So I forgot to mention that earlier, guys. I don't mean to backtrack a little, but listen, you guys could take a basic white or red wine, whatever is your preference. You could turn around. You could take, I'll simplify it. Take a red wine. We'll say, what are they, 750 milliliters, you said?
Yeah.
So, all right, so go 375 milliliters or half a bottle of red wine. Go with 1 cup of sugar and a pint of fruit, we'll say strawberries. Throw it into a small saucepan on very low heat. Let it simmer for about an hour and a half. All that liquor will cook out so your kids don't get the alcohol content, just in case you're wondering. And you got a great topping for the holidays for cheesecake, pancakes, waffles, or anything of that nature. And if it's too thick or too sweet, you can add about a 1/4 cup of water, and that'll dilute it down just a little bit, because let's be honest, the mixture of wine, fruit, and sugar could be a little too much for some people.
That sounds
But
delicious.
it will make a great topping for waffles. I've done it myself.
Well, that's always a winner for me. Anytime that we can get waffles into this show, I'm a happy guy. So
I got a waffle iron here, Zach. I love my Belgian waffles.
yeah, my son keeps talking about a stuffed waffle maker, and I keep telling him he needs to bring that to me, and my wife is like, keep that away from him.
Tell him you want waffle sandwiches.
Yeah, sounds good to
Go
me.
ahead. Say what you want to say, Steph. I could see the look on your face.
No, it sounds delicious.
You could do it with this. You could do it with ice cream. You could do it with peanut butter and jelly for the kids.
And I could think about all different berries I'd use for that too, not just strawberries.
Oh yeah, but no, really, it's simple. And for those of you that don't like the wine or you're afraid to, just simple. We'll go with, say, a pint of strawberries, a cup of sugar, a cup of water. Let it cook down for an hour. You'll have the same result, but the wine will add that sweetness. It'll add that extra flavor to it.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, Duane, why don't you give us your website one last time, and please, to you and to all of your brethren, please, you guys keep safe this winter. And folks, look, the moral of this story is very simple. Be smart. All right. Use your brain. If you're getting into a situation that doesn't seem safe, might not be safe.
Okay.
So, maybe you should think twice about doing things.
If you have to think twice, listen, trust your instinct. If you have to think twice, don't do it. It's that simple. If you're not prepared, your body can't handle it. You have health issues. My friend that I went hiking with, he has heart issues. You know what? He said, you know what? I'm not going to do this, this, and this, but have fun. And he sat there and just hung out. Be smart. Common sense goes a long way. And guys, I know you're ready to wrap this up. Thanks for having me. I'd love to be on again in the future. Maybe, I hate to do it. Shameless, I get it, but I'd love to do it in spring again to educate people, and maybe we could save some lives and some drownings, going into next year to avoid what we went through this year.
You know what, my friend, you're going to be joining the Community Pay It Forward program as one of our mission partners. So as far as I'm concerned, you're welcome in anytime that you would like.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I definitely.
But go and find out more at eastpennsar.net. That's eastpennsar.net.
And that's also on Facebook too, East Penn SAR.
Okay, perfect. That's great. Well, Duane, thank you very much again.
Thank you again for having me, guys.
Yeah, you and everybody, please stay safe. Stephanie, my dear, thank you. Much love.
That's the whole thing.
I appreciate everything that you do, as always. And you can always get a hold of Stephanie right here on her Linktree /Steph Simoes. Check it out. All these recipes are there. Yes, they can find them there.
I'm gonna post them up. Yeah, they were new for today, but they'll be on there. So if you want to recap, they'll be there for you to pull from.
And Steph, I'll get with you right after the show because I want to speak to you anyway. I'll get you that recipe so you can post it as well. I'll make sure everybody can enjoy it.
Love it. And
great.
if you're wondering what page we're talking about, go ahead over to my Linktree in the Community Pay It Forward ONEHOPE fundraising page is right there. As well as what you see on the screen is right there on that page also for supporting East Penn this month.
And Zach, make sure you send me that information so I can buy that book on behalf of East Penn.
You got it, brother. I will do that. Right there is the QR code. That's the only QR code that you need today. Scan that QR code, get your wine. Halloween's coming up. Make sure that, you know what? Hey, parents like a little bit of trick or treat too. So just do it responsibly. So
I love that. On that note, Zach, parents love the mini bottles while they're trick or treating. I like to do that.
There you go.
Just throwing that out there.
Steph, tell me one thing. Did my guess what's in the cup trigger that one?
So funny. All right. Well, thank you both. We appreciate it.
You got it. Thank you again.
Again, East Penn Search and Rescue. What a great program. Look, play it safe. If you feel like you're in trouble, you might be in trouble. So let's watch ourselves. Okay. Hey guys, what we're going to do now is our show last Wednesday with Les was so important because there was so much good stuff on there. I wanted to bring it up and I wanted to play it again simply because Christmas is coming up and this is a way, he's offering you a way to where you can shop. And when you shop, you can turn it into, by using this card, you can get a huge discount on all of your shopping. So check this out, see what he's got going on, contact him because it's a fantastic program and it's starting soon. So check this out. This is our show last week with Les, and I'll see you in about 55 minutes. So stay put with this. This time next month, we're going to be announcing our family adoption for the holidays. This time it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to dedicate a page to where if you are a family that needs help, we're going to ask you to tell us what you need, tell us where you're at, and then we're going to put it out there for the world to see. And then we're going to ask people from around the country to say, you know what, we'll adopt this family of 4. We'll get them gifts and food, and we'll get them some other stuff. We're going to be doing this, and we're going to give the families, we're going to give free pub and a huge push to the families who can support other families who are out there doing miraculous things, trying to help people. And we're going to try to help out some families through this Christmas because unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to have our 501c3 for community dirty care yet. Next year, We're working real hard to have it by next year, though. So, and one of the ways that we're going to get that 501c3, one of the ways that we're going to obtain this 501c3 is by having our wonderful partners like our great friend, platinum partner, and fantastic individual. I'd like to say it in a good way. Our Mr. Know It Most. I don't want to say know it all, but Mr. Know It Most. How does that sound, Les?
No, I've never had a title like that.
Well, if there's somebody who knows, and it's funny because, you can tell people that, I know a little about I know a lot about a little and a little about nothing.
Yep.
Or a lot about nothing. And you are a guy who knows a lot about a lot. So you really do. You have your hands in a lot of areas right now. But the thing that you're working with right now the most is this 3 ways to banking.
That's correct.
For those of you who have not been here before, Les, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. Actually, I've got a PowerPoint that I'm gonna.
That's perfect. That is perfect.
And so we'll share here.
While Les is bringing this up, I'd like to bring attention to the QR code up in the corner. It's got some funny looking face in it. That is For My card. You can get a hold of me at For My card. It's above Les's head actually this time, but it's above Les's head. If you just scan that code, you've got my phone number, you've got my email addresses, the websites, and everything you need to know. So utilize that code and you can get a hold of us and ask us any questions. So just wanted to get that out there.
Let's see, where is it here?
Those things always seem to hide from you, don't they?
Yeah, they sure do. Let's see, there it is. Can you see that?
Yeah, I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to put it on a full screen. I'm going to take us off the screen and just put the PowerPoint on the full screen. They can still hear you and everything.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, we can still hear you, but now they can see it better.
Okay. This is especially for 2 areas tonight. One, if you own a nonprofit, you really want to think about this. The second is if you're an employer and have employees. The reason a business that has employees, and I'm really concentrating in 3 areas, but if you're not fitting here, it works for you. And that is restaurants, new automobile dealerships, and real estate brokers. And the reason I state that is these are the people, first off, that have employees. And second, they have a lot of clients that they work personally with. On the restaurants, I'm talking ones that sit down for half hour to an hour and a half and have a nice dinner. Because these are the ones that have the money that we want to double their income. For the employees, they're the ones that, unfortunately, the federal government did a survey and found that 40% of Americans, if they needed it today, they could not come up with a $400 emergency fund. And employers now, with what I'm going to show you tonight, will actually be able to increase their buying power, double it, without, even if they don't have a budget for raising their wages. And so employers that really care about their employees are going to really be able to do something about it. And the employees that care about other employees are going to be able to refer people to it. It doesn't have to be in your company. You can refer to other companies. If they're not interested in helping, you can help them. To explain, we're now going to be looking at serious banking changes forever. If you'll notice this green card here, That's what we're going to be talking about, and an app. Now, first off, again, as I mentioned, this is a phenomenal employee benefit. If you can imagine, without increasing their wages, you help your employees increase their double their buying power. How much loyalty do you think they would give you? And customer rewards. This is going to be a huge ability for a company to bring in customer acquisition and community fundraising. That's what I mentioned. Right now is the time, if you own a nonprofit, to get into this, because in November, when we go launch the franchises, you'll be actually able to help your own franchise or nonprofit. And all three of these will generate revenue. So can you imagine helping your employees for no money, and they get tremendous benefit and you profit? Now, I want you to think about something. And most people aren't aware of this. I know I wasn't. Do you realize there's 155 million people in this country a week that use their debit cards? Folks, you have a lot of employees that are in that circumstance. But my question is, do they get any benefit of using it besides the fact not paying interest on a credit card?
You know what's funny, Les, when you say that, it makes me think. I use my debit card almost every day, at least 2 or 3 times a day.
Yep. And
So,
yep, you're in the regular, because 25 swipes a month is the average person, and they're spending thousands, but they're not getting any benefit from it. And what we're going to show you is, especially as an individual, you can have this for $25. As a company, you can have for $4.95, and you can allow all your employees to double that buying power when they're using a debit card. Now, let's go into a little bit of banking history. I'm going to just end up on this here, because the rest of it, if you want to read about it and so forth, it's quite an interesting banking history. But right now, we're up to the point where banking is digital. Only 20% of the people go into a physical bank these days. And so it's all online or mobile. And so that's why this timing of this evolution of banking is just perfect. And again, any employer, actually the next one. And all you need to do is take some of your spending money that you're doing on your bank right now on your debit card and transfer it to a small insured checking account that we work with. And it's FDIC insured. It's just a checking account, just like yours. The difference is you're going to send some of it over here. Might be 25, might be 10,000. It all depends on what how much you spend. And you're going to get a Visa card that looks like this. Now, first off, this is perfect for a family. The reason I state this is 5 people can be on this card on one account. Do you have college kids that you really wonder what the heck how they're spending the money and what they're spending it on? Each person with this card, you can put a daily limit. Let's say in college, you can put $25, $30 daily limit. And then you get a text on every single thing they spend. So your children end up learning to budget. And every time they spend something, for instance, they go out and fill their gas tank for $70, they now have 70 Z-Bucks. If they're entertaining their friends at the bar and the $100, they now have 100 Z-Bucks. So money no longer you have to cry about when you use it, because now it has a second purpose. And what I'm talking about is Z-Bucks. And to explain what Z-Bucks are and what they buy, every single time you swipe the card and spend $1, you're going to get $1 equivalent Z-Buck. And this is what it buys. First off, we're going to have an e-commerce website that is bigger than anything. And it's got all these different things. will be on it. And this is just a small sample of it. Everything you need all day long will be on this. Everything from diapers to Rolexes for 30 to 50% off. And that's what I'm talking about, double their money back. Restate that, double their buying power, not double their money back, double their buying power. And on all these, now everybody asks us, okay, we've seen these types of sites before, overstock and all this other stuff. What kind of quality are we talking about? And are they surplus, whatever? These are the companies that have already signed up for their top of the line merchandise to be on there. Now, up here, if you're a sportsman, we've got Spalding, we've got Wilson, we've got TaylorMade. If you're a golfer, for tools, Black & Decker. If you're a car enthusiast, Napa. If you're electronics, Samsung, LG, Vizio. Need some kitchen appliances, KitchenAid. Over here, if you want to be a little extravagant, you can go Gucci or Rolex. Ralph Lauren, all the different things will be in there. And and this is just a small smattering of the companies that's going to be in there in November. And each one of them are going to have hundreds of products. So everything you buy daily will be in there. Now, to give you an idea of what those Z-Bucks do. Let's say you need a pair of shoes. You're looking at Reebok, you're looking at Nike, you're looking at Adidas. And you look on Amazon, they're $100. You look at your local store, they're $100. Anywhere you look, they're $100. With us, you're going to be able to spend 25 Z-Bucks. So the next time you fill your gas tank and it costs you $50, you'll know you have 50 Z-Bucks. So you can go on here, and the second time around, you get to double your buying power. So the shoes actually only cost 75 cash and 25 Z-Bucks. Right now, the electric bikes are the big thing. A $699 electric bike, again, $245 is Z-Bucks. So you went out to dinner and you filled your gas tank, and if you get in before November 15th, then we give you double Z-Bucks. So you only paid $454 for this $700 item. And let's get down to practical stuff that young families need all the time, diapers. And what I mean by that is right now you go out and buy a box of diapers, it's $53. Boy, that hurts. Boy, that hurts a young family. And with us, you're going to be able to have 27 Z-Bucks and $26. Now,
I'm not a mathematician, Les, but that looks like half off to me.
Exactly. And now I got a question for you. When you end up having this in your family, how many other women is that lady going to talk to and refer more people to it? And when you do that and refer people in, and again, the membership is $25. And so, and that just keeps the website going. And for people to get in before November, it's a one-time 25. And for people that don't, it's 25 a year. I mean, it really breaks the bank. And so it's very affordable, and you're going to be referring other people to it all the time. And when somebody comes in on what you have done, you get 500 Z-Bucks. And so some people, if they go out and invite their fraternity and get 20, we've got 20 times 10,000 Z-Bucks, and I'll show you what you can use that for. Now, the other thing we will have is every day we're going to have flash sales. Now, your money's no good here. Only Z-Bucks. Can you imagine getting a pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses for 120 Z-Bucks? You went out and had dinner, the $100, you got 200 Z-Bucks. Now you get Ray-Bans for a $10 shipping charge. Or a laptop if you're going to college, and 1,100 Z-Bucks. Can you imagine what that's going to save your parents? And the lady that really wants to be a little fashion here, a Louis Vuitton bag, 2,300 Z-Bucks. They paid $40 for shipment. And so all this is going to happen every day. And this shows some happy people that did some Z-Bucks and the electronic bike here. And so this is going to be a reality. Every single thing you need is going to be on this e-commerce website. Now, the other part is we found out 2 weeks ago is we are going to be the premier source for vacation destinations. Top hotels will be 30 to 65% off. Resort condos, tours. We have 3 cruise lines that have signed up, and all of this 30 to 50% off. So the normal person now, instead of working all the time and not having any money for vacations, will be able to do it. That's the one thing. To tell you who's behind this, one gentleman name is Pete. He's been in banking for 40 years. He was in, so you just know he knows what he's doing on the banking side. He was in Australia for 30 years, came to the United States 10 years ago, and he's such an expert that first off, he's the president of the Bankers Association. Can you think of an Aussie being president of the Bankers Association? But he's an expert. They hire him to go into banks and turn them around. And even the big banks, Chase and all the different ones, hiring him to turn branches around. So he knows what he's doing, and on the banking side. And so this is going to be available. In fact, if you get in and you start building Z-Bucks, this is what you're going to be able to do. We have our first cruise into the Bahamas, December 7th through 10th, that will only be paid by Z-Bucks. And the registration for that is going to start next week. And so you could take your family and for Z-Bucks. Now, the next thing is kind of blows people's minds. If a person doesn't have $400 emergency fund, how much savings do you think they have? Not much. Right?
Yeah, probably not a lot. Not a lot.
Well, now we're going to give them automatic savings. What I mean by that is when they take our card into Walmart, Amazon, Lowe's, hundreds of different retailers, every time they swipe their card and buy something, 1 to 3% of that transaction is going to go into an automatic savings account. And every time they buy something on the Z Club, 2% is going to go into their automatic savings account. And if you've ever been in a situation where we used to throw our change in a jar and then, 2 or 3 months later, break it out and get something special, with this card, you're going to be able to do that. Let's say the transaction is $10. If at that time you feel, okay, I want to save $2, you're going to be able to put $2 more on that, which will be your money you're saving into this account. Now you're going to ask, why would I want to do that? We're going to have, this is going to go into real estate investment trusts. Now, for you folks that don't know anything about that, that is very good return. And this is set up basically for retirement. Now you can get the money if you have to, but at the same time, it's designed to be there for your retirement, for the people that can't save anything. These people really care about the people that, the little guy that needs help. And I mentioned every time you refer somebody and they get on, you get 500 Z-Bucks. And again, the cost of membership at this time is $25 if you join before November, one time. Now, every year for the other people will be $25. Again, breaks the bank. But every time you renew or every year that comes around, you get 500 Z-Bucks. Now, the next part I'm going to go into is what businesses are going to be able to benefit. We've been talking about everybody benefit as individuals, whether you're a business owner, an employee, or just a soccer mom. But now we're going to talk about what businesses get out of this. For $495, an employer can become a franchise. And when they do that, they can give their employees the membership for $25. But now what do they get out of it? Besides happy employees. Happy employees are always good, but they always want to, okay, if I'm going to take the time to do this, what am I going to get out of it besides that? And a digital branch office, a DBO, will be available to business owners, booster clubs, nonprofits, influencers. And what is that? That means that you have a digital branch office in your company. And with that, you can accumulate customers and earn revenue. We'll get into that. Share in the banking fee business. I don't know if you ever thought about it when you look into even Denver, those big skyscrapers, most of them are owned by banks or insurance companies. I don't know if you're aware of that. And then other people lease from them. The reason is the profits are massive. Well, now the business is going to be able to take part in that. Every time a merchant, you swipe a card at a merchant, they're charged 2-4%, all depends. And now part of that is going to go in your pocket as a business owner. And that's what the new franchise is. The new face of banking is the ability for anyone that puts out $4.95 and doesn't have a criminal record can be in business. So if you know anybody that wants in business, $4.95 is pretty inexpensive. And when I show you the benefits to that, money-wise, you're going to realize it's very unbelievable opportunity at this point. And you do generate significant monthly income because what are you? Whenever you're in business, you want a consumable item that people have to do. Well, this is about as consumable item as it gets, spending. And so when they sign up for the card at $25, then anywhere they swipe that card, anywhere in the world Visa accepted, you get paid. And so, and plus, there is no operations. Your only job as a business is to refer people to become a member. That's it. You don't have to run anything. Our banks do that. So it's kind of basically like having a national ATM network. And every time somebody uses it, ka-ching, you get paid. Well, this is even better because it doesn't need to be an ATM network. They could buy Starbucks. They can buy their next vacation for $5,000 and think about getting paid by all the people that spend a lot of money. So you now have your own network. And again, it's only $4.95 plus $50 a month. Now there are some very special, what we call innovator. This has been in operation. We went soft launch 4 months ago, and we have very special incentives for people to help build this before November. And I'm going to explain what that is. If you get in before October 1st at midnight, you're going to be able to get your money back. And you get, I'll explain, get your money back, eliminate this $50 a month. And instead of having a 10% franchise fee, you'll have 1%, which I'll explain. And then, of course, you get the 500 Z-Bucks awarded per week until, to explain what they're talking about here. We expected 5,000 to 7,000 people signing up. So we hired a banking platform to take care of that. Folks, we have 25,000 that have signed up. And so we kind of blew out this banking platform that we rented because we knew we were going to have to build, but we didn't know this fast. So right now there is no swiping of the card. But because of that, they're given 500 Z-Bucks every single week until the new bank platform comes. And we're told that'll be by the September 30th. So you get double Z-Bucks when you join, and that's going to be for a full year. Marketing and technical support, DBO training, participate in the revenue plan, and I'll explain some of that next. So an example of commissions from all your employees, plus your customers. Erica is the DBO. She signed up all of these people as members. She's getting $9 a month. Now, $9 a month, it doesn't sound much, but think if you add 10 of these a month, especially restaurants, how many customers are going to come in? And the reason I said sit down restaurants where they're there for an hour, the waitress will give them a tablet. There will be a 5-minute video on it. They sign up, and then the restaurant's going to get paid forever on it. Same way, that's the reason I mentioned as far as new car dealerships, needless to say, it takes a while. Once you choose your car and so forth, give it a 5-minute tablet. Plus, there's going to be business owners that say, hey, I want to give this to my employees too. So you sign them up for $4.95. And then pretty soon, their employees tell other people. Folks, once you have 3 DBOs or 20 members, you become a branch manager and you get your $500 back. And the 2 ways to become a manager, like I said, is to 3 DBOs for $4.95 or 20 members. And how many members do you think you can sign up at $25?
So and that right there means that if you can get 3 people working underneath you, you're doing this for free.
Yeah.
You've earned your money back, and that means that you're earning nothing. You're earning money without paying anything.
Exactly.
Okay.
And to explain, next I'm going to talk to you about community bonus. If you do this within the first 30 days, you're going to have a monthly income of $500 per month, plus you get all your money back. If you do it after 30 days, then you're going to have $250 a month, which still is nice because $250 in 2 months, it's paid it back. So this is the only business that we know of that'll make you cash flow positive, not just your money back, but within 30 days. And it goes 10 levels. And so you sign up the DBOs, they sign up their DBOs, it goes 10 levels. And so you can imagine with just this here, $10.25 a month, multiply that by it goes 10 levels. So needless to say, it can add up mighty quick. I can't give numbers besides this because that's the Federal Trade Commission won't allow it. We can't entice people by money. All we can tell is what actually is. And then you get paid for bringing in DBOs. And for every DBO that stays active, which is with 3 members, then you get paid every month for that. And there's others there that I won't go into. If you want to contact me, I'll go into more detail. But I don't want to. It can get complicated if you don't understand the terminology. But this is the one I really want to show you. Community revenue. Every single person that gets in this, and every single swipe that is made on their cards, a percentage is going to go into the community revenue bonus. And every time somebody buys from the Z Club, part of it's going to go in here. Manager, again, is 3 DBOs or 20 members. And so you get $250 if you done it taken longer than 30 days, $500 otherwise. But here's what it really gets interesting. 3 managers, you help them get 3 managers apiece. Then you're a senior manager. Then it goes up to $1,500 monthly, period, forever. Now you help those 3 get 3, and this kind of money you're talking about. Folks, this can be done in just a matter of months. Easy. We have people doing this in 3 months. And in fact, we have people doing this. And what it comes down to, that if you have 200, only 231 people in your organization, managers making managers, then you're getting this a month. Just from the community revenue. That does not include the commissions, and that does not include getting paid for setting up DBOs. This is a business that we have thousands of people in network marketing coming over to us because this is unheard of. The fact that you get paid every time somebody spends something. And this is an example of a manager's revenue. Now, this one did not make it in 30 days. So for 60 card members spending $2,500 a month, $90 a month. The community revenue is $250 because they didn't do it in 30 days. And then the leadership grants of signing up DBOs and so forth comes to this. So it's $470. You could easily be doing that in a month or 60 days. But again, I have to be careful here. I can't give predictions. But again, if you did do it within 30 days, you add another $250 to this. Now, here is the thing that's going on right now. If you get in as a DBO before October 1st, midnight, then you have the opportunity of eliminating, and you have 30 days to do it. So you get in by October 1st. You have 30 days or October 31st to get the 20 TCMs or the 3 DBOs. If that happens, first off, you're going to get your $495 back. And then you're going to get $500 a month forever. The $50 technology fee is waived. And of course, you have the 500 Z-Bucks. And if after 30 days, then you'll get $250 a month. And let's see, what they're saying here is however many DBOs you get in the future, if you had 231, you multiply it depending upon what level you're at. You get anywhere from $2.50 for every single DBO that is in your team, or presidents get $10. So if you multiply 231 times 10, that is your monthly income just on that. And of course, it's going to grow from there. We launch in November. And the other thing to let you know, we're already United States Chamber of Commerce, the National Restaurant Association. I can't go into too much of this. They've kind of taken it off because, again, we can't entice you. But how much does a regular franchise cost? A franchise costs from $25,000 to $250,000. A McDonald's is $1.2 million. This is what you have to do with a regular franchise. You have to go to training for 3 to 4 months before it's yours. And then the franchise expenses is $1,000 a month. And then you have to hire staff, replacing staff, monthly rent, no time off. That's owning a franchise. You have to also building lease, employees, inventory, accounting. With us, all you do is $500 to start, and all you do is refer people. You don't have employees, you don't have all these costs, and this is pure profit. And with Friend, we're going to have videos that run all the time in restaurants and so forth, so they can see it. This is about as easy as it gets, but at the same time, it's got unbelievable possibilities. what I'm really after, but especially your nonprofit owners, get in now, because then you can sign up your own nonprofit. If your idea was for the nonprofit and you're the president or whatever, get in now. Or if you know nonprofits, you can support as many as you want. And all their members are going to, and I don't know the details yet, they're going to tell us in November how it works. But all of their supporters, the nonprofit gets money from, and you get the same amount. So there's going to be people that just are able to support all the nonprofits they never were able to before. Questions?
Yeah, I've got two of them right now.
Okay.
A gentleman named Jeff asked, is there any monthly fee for owning your card?
No, not for the card. It's annual fee of $25. Unless you get in before November, then it's a one-time $25.
Okay. And then Elisa wanted to know, so if I use this card, I can pay my bills and I will earn Z-Bucks. If that's all I use this card for, is say I deposit, say somebody comes in and they deposit, $300 a month on this card. They take and transfer it from their Chase Bank account. They transfer it to their Z card. They can pay their bills, the $300, or maybe even pay their mortgage every month at $1,000, and they would earn those Z-Bucks that they can use towards other things. Correct?
That is correct. In fact, we just paid our property taxes of $3,000, and since we already signed up, we have 6,000 Z-Bucks just from that.
So, I mean, it is truly one of the easiest ways in the world to take in and earn a little bit of bonus money. And those flash sales, I mean, let's be honest, those flash sales, you pay your rent for a couple months, you're going to be able to get some really, really nice things, or even go on that cruise.
Exactly.
I would be up for trying to go on that cruise, except for I'm expecting a grandchild at that time. So there's no cruises in Kansas, but I wouldn't miss that for the world. So
I understand, sure.
but but I will sure try to be there next year for that. So,
and also you're able to give Z-Bucks. So we have grandparents that are signing up. Of course, they have more expenses than their grandchildren, and so they will be giving Z-Bucks for Christmas presents.
This is kind of one of those things. I used to work at a trash company, a very, very large waste company. They like to manage your waste. Let's just put it that way. And what they did is they took and you earned points.
For the everywhere you purchase.
And the employees actually can really control the employee doesn't have to go and work an extra shift. Or something to earn 100 points, he just pays $100 bill or makes a purchase for $100, and he gets those points that he can really nice.
That's correct.
This is so fantastic, and I love the way that with a nonprofit can really fund itself by helping out people. Because we all see these bank presidents go out and they get into their Jaguars and all this other stuff. You can be that you know, you can be the leader of your own.
Exactly. To people with real money and say, we can get you the finest resorts for 30% off if you use this card.
There are weekly meetings that people who are interested in this that they can join, right?
Yes. And the Tuesday and well, actually tomorrow, no, this is Wednesday. The Tuesday and Thursday evening at 7 Mountain, if you go transactcard.live, then there's presentations by some of the top people. And that's one of the things that even when you get into this, you don't have to be the salesman unless you need capital. I love educating and training. A lot of people don't. Then they just send to our experts, they educate them, and then they just sign up on their website.
Well, and let's be honest here. If you are taking and you're getting some of the benefits from these things, some of this, and this is your website. This is 3 ways to click on the volume and listen to what some of the people are saying. But this is going to, you know, this is going to explain a lot about what's going on. And it's a very, let me tell you this. It's a very, very, very simple application that you go through. They've ran into a glitch or two, but they're working real hard to go out and get an application is so extremely simple and getting it going. And look, let's be honest, with Christmas coming up, imagine how much money you could save yourself. Okay. If you start shopping for Christmas, those Reebok and you know, Nike. I saw Nike up there. If somebody's in Nike Golf, look, you need a discount. You know, Nike Golf to me, Les, is almost like Harley Davidson. You know, the HD actually sounds like, or actually stands for $100 because you can't buy a tire cap for under $100 at Harley Davidson. If it's got that logo on it, you're spending that money. So, but once again, this is Les's website, so you can see all the information that's on here. Here we talk about the 2 types of memberships. And once again, for the month of, until the beginning of October, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful program for the digital branch office, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So we definitely encourage you to go on here and look around. You need any of the financials are not, I'm sorry, the legalese. It's right here on the bottom of your website and everybody can look around. But always the best thing to do is contact Les at 303-579-6881. That's 303-579-6881, or shoot him an email, les@3waystobanking.com. You get a hold of him, he can answer all of your questions. And if he can't answer your question right away, I'm damn sure he can go and ask somebody about it, right?
You bet.
You know, I told you this morning, Les, that I've had 2 ladies who have approached me about this wonderful, wonderful idea. And before they even pitched what it was, I guessed what it was. I was like, this is about the Z-Bucks, isn't it? And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, hey, I've been listening, you know, I've been hearing about these Z-Bucks now for about 3 months. So, you know, you're not telling me anything new. I already knew about it. So I kind of did the straightening of my tie thing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm already up on all this. So, you know, and it's amazing. The one thing that I do want to say about that is that both of the ladies brought up how beneficial this can be for somebody who's looking for a side gig or somebody who's running a nonprofit, and how much it could truly help in that program. This is a company that, look, they are trying to use what they've got to support other people, right?
Exactly.
So, but
and in November, we're also going to have a new position called a Go. And what that is, for $35, you can actually go out and sign up members, and you get $2.50 of the 25, plus you get 20 basis points. So instead of the $1.50, you'll get $6 for everybody that spends $2,500. And when people refer that, and so it's really made for the soccer mom that wants to make $600 or $800 a month and doesn't want to sign up companies or help nonprofits. And it's also will be a way for people to get their feet wet, because for $35, they can go out and sign up these people, and they say, well, this is fun. So they come back and, pay the $4.95, and they go full blast and sign up their own goes and so forth.
Well, let me shift gears a little bit here, Les. How's everything going with the bands and all the other programs that we had talked about?
Well, actually, they've slowed down. That's one of the reasons. I'll tell you a little story here. I used to be in finance, like I said, as a trainer for long-term care. And my wife is a psychotherapist and a clinical nutritionist. And she had been asking me to do something with her for 10 years. And when different medical devices came around that I used and got benefit from, I decided, okay, I'm going to get out of finance and we're going to work together. Well, unfortunately, the bands and everything else, the people have to really be motivated to do something about their health. Money's easy, but to get them, and I've been asked a million times, you're not a doctor. Why are you talking about this? And that's one of the things I've run into constantly. And so they're there, and I can train doctors on the technology, the Stimwell, for instance. And but that's why I've gone back to finance, because it's simple, it's easy, and everybody wants to save money or make money.
So it's still, if anybody has any questions about it, they can still come to you and they can still talk to you about it. That is good, because like I said, there's still a wonderful video on there about how it helps a gentleman who could not stand up on their own, and still want to get everything situated to try to help us out. But right now, with the news I got today about my own impending surgery, that kind of puts a little bit of a damper on things. It's a surgery that I've known's been coming for a while. The only problem is the doctors didn't know it was coming until I finally had a doctor listen to me. So, it kind of hit me a little bit different there. But I just want to make sure that people do understand that this Transact card, this isn't the only thing that Les has got going on. He's got so many different things going on. He's got a wonderful thing that takes in and can really help healing, and so much more. And I encourage you to go back through our podcasts and listen to some of the past episodes with myself and Les, and find some of the wonderful things that he's got going on with everything, and listen to the one with the doctor that we had talking about these bands. You can watch that video of how this person who could not stand up on their own, after just a few hours, a few sessions with those bands, was able to stand up on their own. Strength, tricking your muscles into thinking that you're working harder than you are. Very interesting concept. And it's not a new concept. It's something that's been around a day or two. It's just newer to America because, where things, take a while to get here every once in a while. So, but you look like you got something else to say.
Well, the only thing is, as far as the bands, they were developed 50 years ago in Japan. And in fact, for your shoulder, It's actually used in rehab to make everything heal much quicker. So, and to let everybody know, you can get them for $80 a month and no payment through PayPal. They're $500, but they help. The NFL uses them, the Olympics use them, and for rehab and so forth. And that's why I'd love to see your shoulder once you have surgery. But that's one of the things. And there's the stem well, which is the biggie. People with back problems are finding, Dr. DeBrincat himself was in a wheelchair for 6 years, and he has had no movement in his back. And he's now, after 10 sessions on the stem well, has movement that he hasn't had in 20 years. But, and it's artificial intelligence for the back. But it's for doctors. And it's although he went to a conference in Connecticut, and the people, when they found out it was 17,000, they said, "I want one of these for each one of my houses." And so, needless to say, the people with money, 17,000 is nothing. Their back health is more important to them.
Yeah. Well, and the greatest thing about this is that this is all non-narcotic healing.
Yep.
This isn't going to hurt you in any way, because it's also all low impact.
Yeah.
So it's very low impact, non-narcotic, and very, very easy on you to learn. So with the purchase of all these, you get the training, you get to learn a little bit more about it. And that goes all the way from the Transact card to the bands to everything that you've got working. So just visit, make sure you do yourself a huge favor. Visit 3waystobanking.com. If you have any more questions, 303-579-6881, 303-579-6881, or you can get him by email at les@3waystobanking.com. les@3waystobanking.com. Well, my friend, we made it. Got another month done. We're looking for nonprofits, restaurants, and auto dealerships.
Yep.
So those would be some great people to talk to you right now, so you can teach them how to treat their employees the right way. And really, right now is the best time to do this, because look, like I said, you can use this card. They can use this card to when Christmas shopping starts ramping up in the beginning of December. They can really use a lot of these discounts to get their family taken care of.
Exactly.
So, well, that all sounds great. I appreciate it, Les, and we'll talk to you. Well, I'll be talking to you on Friday when we try to get this going again and working again. So, but I'll be talking to you then. Once again, contact Les Simpson, wonderful, wonderful friend of mine, great partner, 303-579-6881, 303-579-6881. Thank you, Les, and we'll talk to you. Well, I'll talk to you on Friday. Hopefully people will talk to you before then, but if not, I will talk to you next month. Don't we have something special coming next month? Or is that for 2 months away?
No, are you talking about the rollout of the franchise?
Yeah, that's in 2 months.
Yeah, that's November.
Okay. Well, we're always going to have something special. Let's not joke about that. We're always going to have something special. But get in on this on the ground floor. Hey, every day people should be kicking themselves for not getting in on the ground floor of Microsoft and Apple. Well, here's a chance. All right, they're going to change banking. Be there with them. Thank you, Les, and I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Once again, that's Les Simpson.
Stepping out of her fear. Bring me home. Out alone. Show me the way. You wanna be a part. Sunset Boulevard.